Hello my dear students, myself Saraswati Acharya. In our previous video we have discussed about hierarchical model and network model. In this video we will discuss about the relational model and entity relationship model. So let's start the video. First we will discuss about the relational model. In this model the data is represented in the form of two-dimensional table. This model was first introduced by E.F. Codd in 1970 and since then it has been the most widely used database model. So here are the few terms associated with the relational model. Each table in the relational model is known as relation. Each row in a table is known as tuples. Each column associated with the table is known as attributes or field. यहाँ पे हम लोग रिलेशनल मॉडल में हर एक टेबल को क्या बोलते हैं, रिलेशन बोलते हैं. एक टेबल के अंदर जितना भी रोज है हम लोग उसको क्या बोलते हैं, ट्रिपल्स बोलते हैं. एक टेबल के अंदर जितना भी कॉलम्स है हम लोग उसको क्या बोलते हैं, एट्रीब्यूट्स और फील्ड बोलते हैं. So this is one example of relational model. Here we can see the different rows in the relational model is known as tuples. Each column associated with the table is known as attribute or field and the total table is known as relation. Next we will discuss the advantages of relational model. First one is simple. This model is more simple as compared to network or hierarchical model. Second point is scalable. This model can be easily scaled as we can add as many number of rows and columns we want. Third point is structural independent. We can make the changes in the database structure without changing the way to access the data. Next we will discuss the entity relationship model or ER model. This is one high level data model. It is developed for the conceptual design of the database. It is also developed to represent the simple and easy to design view of data. In ER model, the database structure is portrayed or drawn in the diagram called as entity relationship diagram. In the ER model, we are using the different symbols to represent the diagram, ER diagram. So these are the different symbols which is associated with the ER diagram. The first one is rectangular shape to represent the different entities. Second one is the diamond shape to represent the relationship. Third one is the oval shape to represent the attribute. Fourth one is the double rectangle shape to represent the weak entity. Fifth one is the double diamond shape to represent the weak entity relationship. Sixth one is the double oval shape to represent the multi-valued attribute. Seventh one is the oval shape with underline to represent the key attribute. And the last one is the oval shape which is associated with the different oval shape to represent the composite attribute. So we will discuss one by one all these points one by one. So first we will discuss the entity. An entity may be an object or class or person or place in the ER diagram which is represented by rectangle. In the OOPS, whenever we represent the one class, a class can be any object or person or place like this. Similarly, in the ER diagram, any object, any person or place can be represented by entity which is represented by the rectangular box. Here, the employee and department are the two entities which are associated with the relation work for. So here employee and department are represented by the rectangle and the relationship is represented by the diamond shape. Next is the weak entity. An entity that depends upon another entity is known as weak entity. It is represented by the double rectangular box. The weak entity does not contain any key attribute of its own. Here, the installment is one weak entity. So, because installment is fully depending upon the loan. So how much installment we have to give, how much time we have to give the installment will depend upon the loan we have, the amount of loan we have taken, the scheme associated with the loan we have taken. So here the installment is fully dependent on the loan entity. So here installment is one weak entity which is fully depending upon the loan entity. Next is the attribute. The attribute is representing the characteristic or properties of entity. It is represented by the elliptical shape or oval shape. So for example, if student is taken as the entity, what are the different properties associated with the student? Age, roll number, phone number, address are the different properties of the student. So here we are representing the age, roll number, name, address as attribute of the student. So here we are representing age, address, phone number as oval shape. Next we will represent the key attribute. The key attribute is used to represent the main characteristic of the entity. It is represented by the primary key. The key attribute is represented by the ellipse with the underline. So here we are taking the ID or roll number as the key entity, as if we want to distinguish one student from the another, we have to take the help of the roll number. So no two students have the same roll number. So if you want to distinguish one student from the another, we have to take the help of the roll number. So we are taking the roll number or ID as the key attribute, which is represented by oval shape with the underline. If we are representing one employee as entity, so employee ID can be taken as primary key or key attribute associated with the employee entity. Next we will discuss the composite attribute. An attribute that is composed of many other attributes is known as composite attribute. It is represented by the one elliptical shape which is further divided into the further more elliptical shape. So here if we are representing one name as an attribute, it can be further divided as first name, last name and first name, middle name and last name. So here the name is one composite attribute. Next we will discuss the multi-valued attribute. An attribute that have more than one value can be represented as multi-valued attribute. So multi-valued attribute can be represented by a double oval shape. For example, if we are representing the phone number, it can be multi-valued attribute, because if phone number is one attribute, one student can have more than one phone number. So we are taking a phone number as multi-valued attribute. So we are representing it as a double oval shape. We can take email ID as multi-valued attributes, because one student can have multiple number of email ID. So we can take email ID also as a multi-valued attribute. So here we have to remember that whenever we want to represent the multi-valued attribute, we have to use the double oval shape. Next point is derived attribute. An attribute which is derived from the other attribute is known as the derived attribute. It is represented by dashed ellipse or dashed oval shape. For example, here age is taken as derived attribute because we cannot calculate the age directly. We have to take the help of birth date attribute and the value of current date to calculate the age attribute. So here age attribute is one derived attribute which depends upon the date attribute, birth date attribute. So here we are representing age as double. Here we are representing age as dashed oval shape to represent the derived attribute. Next we will discuss the different relationship which is used in the ER diagram. So here we are representing four type of relationship: one to one, one to many, many to one and many to many. First we will discuss one to one. When when one instance of one entity in the left hand side is associated with one instance of another entity, then it is known as the one-to-one relationship. Here is in this example, one person can have only one passport, or you can say one person can have only one ration card. So here the person and passport are the two entities, and they are connected with the relationship has. So it is representing one-to-one relationship. Next is the one-to-many relationship, when one instance of the left-hand side entity is associated with many instances of the right-hand side entity, then it is known as one-to-many relationship. Here we are taking one example, and in this example we have taken the scientist and invention are the two different entities, and they are connected by the relation invent. One scientist will invent many inventions. So here it is example of one-to-many relationship. Next one is the many-to-one relationship. Here many instances of the entity of the left hand side is connected or associated with the one instance of the entity of the right hand side, then it is known as the many-to-one relationship. Here we have taken the example of student and course. Here many students can be enrolled in one course or one branch or one department. So here many-to-one relationship is established. Here student and course are the two entities, and they are associated with the relationship enrolled. Many students can be enrolled in one course, so it is example of many-to-one relationship. Next we will discuss the many-to-many relationship. Here more than one instance of one entity in the left hand side is associated with many instances of the entity of the right hand side, then it is called as many-to-many relationship. Here employee and project are the two entities, and they are connected with the relation each assigned. Here many employees can work for the one project, and one employee can work for the many projects. So here it is represented by the many-to-many relationship. Next we will discuss the different diagrammatical notation of the many-to-many, one-to-many, one-to-one, many-to-one relationship. Next we will discuss the degree of the relationship. The number of different entities associated with the relation is represented by the degree of the relationship. They can be unary relationship, binary relationship, and n-ary relationship. First we will discuss the unary relationship. When one entity is associated in the relation, then it is known as the unary relationship. Here is one example. A person can marry to one person. It is one example of unary relationship. We can take another example. One employee can work under one manager, which is again one employee of the company. So here one employee work under another employee. So it is another example of unary relationship. Next is the example of binary relationship. If two entities are associated in the relation, then it is known as the binary relationship. Here students and course are the two different entities which is associated in the relation by the relation enrolled in. So here is the example of binary relationship. Next is the n-ary relationship. When n number of entities are participating in the relation, then it is known as n-ary relationship. Next we will discuss the different ER models. In ER models, first in the first diagram we have represented one entity as student, and it is connected with the different attributes like roll number, name, date of birth, phone number, age, and address. Here Age is one derived attribute as it depends upon the date of birth and attribute. Phone number is one multi-valued attribute because one student can have multiple number of phone numbers, so it is represented by the double oval shape. Here address is one composite attribute because it is further divided into country, state, city, street like this. And roll number can be taken as key attribute because if you want to distinguish one student from the other student, we have to take the help of the roll number. This is one simple example where we have taken only one entity, that is student, and the attributes are the roll number, name, date of birth, phone number, age, address, etc. Here the second example. In this example, we have taken two entities, student and books, and they are connected with each other by the relation reads. So student reads book. So this is the relation. So in the student entity, we have taken the different attributes like roll number, name, phone number, address, date of birth, age. Your roll number is taken as key attribute, so it is represented by oval shape with underline. Phone number is taken as the multi-valued attribute, so it is represented by double oval shape. Address is taken as the composite attributes, so it is further divided into city, pin, state. Age is taken as the derived attribute as it depends upon the attribute date of birth, so it is taken as dotted oval shape. Next, in the next part, we have taken the book as entity, which has the attribute book name, author, book ID, price. Here the book ID or ISBN will be taken as key attributes because if you want to distinguish one book from the other, we have to take the help of the book number or ISBN. So it is represented by the ISBN is represented by one key attribute, so it is represented by the oval shape with the underline. Here author is taken as the multi-valued attribute, so it is represented by double oval shape because one book can have multiple number of authors. So it is author is one multi-valued attribute. In the next diagram, we have taken two entities, teacher and department. Here teacher entity is connected, is associated with the different attribute like teacher ID, teacher name, mobile number, age, salary, and department entity is associated with the two attributes, department ID and department name. The entity teacher and department are connected with each other by the relationship works for. So here is one simple example of ER diagram. Next we will discuss the advantages of ER model. The first one is simple. Conceptually, the ER model is very simple to build. If we know the relationship between the attributes and the entities, we can easily build the ER diagram for the model. The second point is effective communication tool. This model is used widely by the database designer for the communicating their ideas. The third point is easy conversion to any model. So this model maps well to the relational model and can be easily converted to the other models like hierarchical model, network model, etc. So that's all for this video. Thank you.